So, you are amazing also in your work together with the UN. And you really, when we were talking just those initial ideas around the Empowerment League, you were really one of our like galleon figures of like, okay, how can we get Ingrid involved? And so what's your story? What's your passion behind it? Why, for you, this is where you're saying, okay, this is where I want my wings growing.
Yeah. And it's a story I'll tell the beginnings of as part of what I want to share is that whole idea of, being a child in the 60s and literally watching on the news, women burning their bras. It did not go as well as they had expected because fabric doesn't burn with the kind of
it smells.
Looking for. It was a lot of smoldering, smoky, but the message was delivered. And I thought, yes, I'm going to have a level playing field. And then to have a daughter and literally think that what's within my power, what's within my control is to tell her every single day, not only was she beautiful, but she was brilliant. I don't buy into that whole mom thing where you can't ever tell your daughter you're beautiful. I think every woman should be told they're beautiful every day.
I agree.
I know. Yeah. I can be a beautiful person even when I'm having a very, very bad hair day and age spots and all the rest of it. So tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me I'm brilliant. And I did that with her. And she listened, and she has her PhD in quantum astroparticle physics in a man's field.
Yeah.
Where she still doesn't have a level playing field, and where she works for men who the hours she's asked to work because they don't plan well or don't even value her as a human being to the point where they don't just say, oh, on a Friday, yeah, we need you in San Diego on a Tuesday to give this presentation. And it's okay if you just work round the clock and get maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to make this presentation Tuesday morning, because we've decided it's you for all of this shit reasons.
Yeah.
Plan. We don't respect you. We don't respect your time. We don't respect your contribution. And we know that you feel so lucky to be in this room that we can pull that crap on you, and we know you'll say yes. You'll say yes. We don't even have to ask your permission. We can just treat you like that. And that conversation has to change. It just is. And making that change. And I love what I do with the UN. I do sometimes think you think I have a bigger position there than I do. And I'm just literally a volunteer delegate. And that is just, I show up and I listen and I report back as needed, because they can't be in every session. So they need eyes and ears, because especially now that it's gone virtual, there were thousands of sessions, not hundreds, well, maybe thousands is too much, hundreds of sessions on the last one. And there's no way anyone can send, every single time slot I was looking at that I could attend. I was trying to pick, which one do I want to listen in on, and what do I want to choose, and what do I want to focus on, and what's important to hear. And it was, and I like this idea of what we're doing, because for me, that's always been something that was really important to me on an individual basis. Then that grew within my family. I'm a mother of a daughter, and I wanted things there. And then we started our own company, and I thought, well, I have a little bit more power. I can do things here. And now it's like, okay, I have a little bit of power. I have a voice. I have a little bit of a bigger platform. What more can I do? And so showing up and listening. And as I was listening and letting that form opinions and give me input and data and things to consider, and trying to listen with a really open mind. When people say things like, burn down the establishment, and my brain's just going, what? Hang on. That infrastructure. But tell me why you feel that way. And just hearing what they're saying in that message, where they say, here's a system you didn't build. We're not going to give you the designs, the schematics. We're not going to give you the tools we used to build it, but we're going to look at you and say, fix it.
Yeah.
You want it fixed, fix it. And we didn't build it, and we didn't design it. Or, we know the system made you sick, heal it.
Yeah.
But your system made us really, really sick. And you're looking to us to fix it. And how that makes women feel when we're just so tired of being told, like you said, by governments universally, you will do this. You'll have to step up. And we're not going to ask your permission because we know you. Well, that you're going to put your family first, and you're going to sacrifice, and you're not going to wash your hair for a week because you don't even know when you're going to find 5 minutes to get in the shower. And we're just going to make you believe that this is all real. Yeah. And that you have to do it. And we don't even have to ask your permission. We just know that you'll rise to that occasion because you're trying still to prove that you can do it. Yeah. Something very recently, and they said, we need to all band together as women and have the courage to say, see this list, this thing that you've given me for your expectations of what this position can accomplish and do. This was written for a man who had a wife, who made sure that the kids got to the doctor, who prepared all the meals, who washed and ironed his clothes, who kept his house, who balanced the checkbook, and did everything else so he could do this. So asking me to do this is just wrong and inexcusable. And that was an eye-opening thing, because I always thought if I could just do all that. Yeah. And we have to stop doing that to women. We really do.
Well, we have to stop doing that to women in terms of not giving the infrastructure support. That it is also, it's just on you. It's not the infrastructure. And you and I living in Europe, we also know that there are different options available for supporting women in the workplace. And I think, if we look to what it was even around in the 70s in terms of affordable childcare, but also, to be honest, the expectations on mothers nowadays is insane around being that perfect. You have the crafts, your Pinterest, your all of those different should do's rather than what do you need to do. And understanding, what's your story, what's your style, how do you want to work, what is, in terms of how you're bringing it, because I think that's one of we were having a discussion around, I loved hiring moms. I loved hiring moms because they are the most organized. They are able to prioritize. They are able to communicate extremely well. And it's that aspect of what's your perspective on these different things of, do you have to justify having a life outside of work, or is it expected that that's going to help give you the foundation for flourishing in the various spheres in which you're working?
Yeah, and the infrastructure comment is a really, really valid one. It reminds me of when we went to England for John to do his MBA. I stopped what I was doing and I took a year off. He was doing his MBA. I figured he was going to try and do a year MBA. In 1 year's time, somebody needed to hold the fort down. And so we put Elizabeth into this wonderful school. And about 3 weeks in, I called for a meeting with the headmistress, and I just said, look, she's not coming home with any homework, well, we're paying a lot of money. What's going on here? And she just looked at me. She's like, what do you mean? And I was just like, well, one of the things I was expecting to do this year because of the level of homework that I was, required to assist my child with in the States was such that this is going to be something I'm going to have to dedicate time to. And she said, if your child can't get educated by us between the hours of 9 and 4, we're not doing our job. You should never have homework, and neither should she. And I thought, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. And again, so there was this assumption in this American society that not, while I'm driving her to her island dance class, her spelling words are on my steering wheel.
Yeah.
Doing 7 things at the same time. That we should have a society where you send your kid to school and they do their shit at school and then they come home. And they have
mind blown.
They have time to then, you know, do their extracurricular stuff, and they have for social
a life outside of those things.
Spend time actually socializing and building friendships,
becoming an adult, a human
being. So so that's, and the more I learned, the more I said, you know what, I can't just feel this way inside here. And so those ripples for me continue to, I want to push those out. So can I take, you know, what I've learned as a volunteer delegate, and then just make sure that I show up at every subsequent thing, attend as many sessions as I can. What can I learn? What can I take away? And then how can I help spread that? How can I get that message into other people's, you know, presence, and get them to think, or inspire them to think, you know what, I can make these little changes. I can do these things to start, you know, hopefully a real revolution, because equality cannot wait another 130 years. I will not be here to see it.
I love it. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Ingrid, so well said. I completely appreciate it. And so, yeah, I think this aspect of the Empowerment League, why are we doing it? That's in a nutshell. So we look forward to seeing everybody at September 21st through the 23rd for the Career Growth Summit.
You really are going to publish this, aren't you?
Yep.